Today I'm going to talk about my favorite topic, which is an online conversion funnel. And I want to present it from a little bit different perspective that I was presenting it before, and I hope you guys will find it useful. So usually when I talk about online conversion funnels, I really talk about marketing methodologies, but recently, over the last 10 months, what's really like inside of my head and what's causing me a lot of sleepless nights is not so much the marketing strategy, but how to build teams of people who can execute these strategies. So today I actually want to take you through a journey of how online conversion funnels evolved over the last few years and how the skills and teams needed for executing these funnels evolved too. So I hope you're gonna leave this presentation with some knowledge about how to construct teams that are most effective in terms of executing online funnels, and what are the skills needed in these teams to do a perfect execution. And in the very end of this presentation, I'm gonna show you 3 skill profiles of my best people who actually execute this kind of campaigns for clients very well. So this is going to be my 3 stallions. If you guys watch Silicon Valley, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I think you'll see it. So let's get started. So let's first cover just this basic thing, like what really is an online conversion funnel. So this is a user journey from the moment when they first time get to know your brand and your product to the moment when you buy from you. So really, online conversion funnel is like entire digital marketing, in fact. So this can be an online conversion funnel. It's very messy, and you can see it in many businesses. This is also an online conversion funnel. It's a model of a funnel that in the company called Tribe47, where I work at, we use this model to explain to the clients what does it mean to really order digital marketing tools and techniques in a way that they take the user in terms of the psychology of marketing and in terms of different tools and techniques inside the funnel and engage them a little bit more at each step. And this is also an online conversion funnel. It's just like the reality. Okay, that's how it looks when you draw it in a theory, but when you actually draw it and you try to connect different pieces, that's how it looks. It doesn't look very beautiful. When you go inside, you see that this is just entire online marketing put into one picture. So my journey with the online sales funnels actually started in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia when I started just my career in digital marketing in a company called Mindvalley, which started in the early 2000s by a guy called Vishen Lakiani, who simply got to know this one skill. He learned how to set up ads on Google AdWords at the times when not many people were setting these ads there. And what happened was that he was able to start selling meditation CDs online thanks to his skill, which at that time was not very likely to have. And he built a whole company around it many years later. And this is really the times when the sales funnel looked very basic. It was just traffic driven to sales pages and then to payment. Most of the ads were set up on the platform like Google AdWords. And the KPIs in the funnel were mostly related to the acquisition cost of the user, so how much money I spend, how many customers I get, and you could optimize cost per clicks. So there were some crucial skills needed to build these early stage funnels, and a lot of them are related really with marketing and sales psychology, because you had to present some text on these quite ugly pages at that time, and the performance copywriting was what was really making the game, and performance copywriters were cashing the biggest checks at that time. So crucial team members needed to build these funnels were not very big. These teams were not very huge. Mostly this was online marketing manager who could set up ads, copywriter who was brilliant writer and who knew everything about marketing psychology, and the web developer who could put quite ugly pages in the internet. And then something happened, and this was really when I started working in online marketing. Like, I didn't start in 2003, I'm not that old, but I started around 2007, and that was this turning point when there was more people who knew how to set up ads on Google AdWords, and there was more scammers online, people were losing trust, and marketers were thinking, okay, we have to add something to the picture, and then they discovered this boom, big thing, which is like the lead campaigns. So instead of driving everyone to the sales pages, let's just collect some leads. So we can actually come back to people, send them emails, maybe build some relationship. And that's how the funnel evolved. And it actually got one more piece in the game, which was really the landing page, acquiring leads, and the lead nurturing processes. So more and more funnels, more and more tools came on the, is this clicker already working? Oh yeah, it is, okay. So really more channels came to the picture, and just 2 more processes inside of the funnel. And there's also a new KPI that came to the picture, because right now we are also acquiring leads, not just sales, so we had to measure how much we're paying for them. And new skills came to the picture. We still had to be good with psychology of marketing, and copywriting still mattered, but there's just more. We had to learn how to create these lead campaigns, how to acquire leads in the evergreen models through different lead magnets that can get traffic constantly, and through some real-time lead campaigns. And around 2010 webinar was one of the best campaigns that was really helping marketers to cash a lot on the campaigns online. And together with this came marketing automation. So how to select the right softwares to automate your lead acquisition and lead nurturing processes, how to quickly build pages for lead acquisition, and then many more came. And then website UX and UI, ugly pages didn't work anymore so well, so by adding some elegant elements to the pages, we were able to see even over 20% of improvement on the page conversions, and adding dynamic elements to the pages like videos to engage users more. And finally, placing the CTAs in the optimal way on the page to get what we really want from the user who comes there. And traffic campaigns, they started to get more complex because of the several different channels that came to the picture. And because of this discovery channels that didn't work exactly like Google AdWords. So the skill line was just boosting, and the team of people who are needed to build the online sales funnel between these years were even bigger. So now we have 2 people who are on the front line, usually marketing manager, good with the marketing automation, understanding UX and UI of the pages, and paid traffic manager who really knows how to distribute budgets across the channels and how to set up the good campaigns. And there is many more specialists who are showing up here on the second line, but still very important to manage and to build these funnels. So now, for me, the most interesting stuff happened around 2015, when I also started myself consulting different companies how to build these digital funnel strategies. And I was working at the time on some project where we executed the perfect version of the funnel 2.0. Okay, we had the most creative lead magnets. We had great pages. I never built a masterpiece like that. Okay, I was so proud. But in fact, at some point we realized that even though we're doing so much and so well, our cost of acquisition is really skyrocketing, and we don't know what's happening. And like, we're all frustrated. We're experimenting with many ways. And at some point, we actually did something. We just flipped the coin a little bit, and that helped us to drop the acquisition cost of our users about 30%. We're so happy. It didn't save the business. The business I was working on at that time actually went down, but that's okay. We still learned something useful that can be implemented to other projects. And what was it? What we really started doing in terms of driving traffic to these beautiful lead pages, we decided to drive traffic first to the engaging content, and to see what's gonna happen when we're gonna remarket these content users with our lead pages and later with the sales. And we were able to drop the cost per acquisition and still scale the campaign. So this new strategy is really something we can call content first. So what's gonna happen if we're gonna use content to engage with the user and to be the first thing that people see before they're driven further into the funnel? So you can see here a content piece that we used in the strategy for one of our clients, where we were working on optimizing their customer acquisition cost and scaling their business, and whereby adding like a content line in the front of the funnel, we were actually able to drop the customer acquisition cost 50% and simultaneously scale the revenue 2 times. It was just by adding, and I will show you the model of this funnel in a second. So this new funnel that I think is still present, it's the funnel where we just have one extra piece in the front line, and this is content. And really, what's the purpose of this content? Is to warm up audiences and to build this new form of remarketing audiences. There was some conversation about remarketing today at one of the previous presentations. Well, remarketing is not just about the abandoned checkouts. It's really about people who engage with your content that you can remarket further to different steps of your marketing. So here you can actually, you can see the actual funnel of our Client Growth Institute, where we were able to optimize conversions, drop down the customer acquisition cost, and increase the revenue at the same time, just by adding to the front line a content series where we started to throw most of the campaign budget on. It was very counterintuitive for the client when we first presented the strategy to them, because they were like, what? We're supposed to drive traffic to content instead of landing pages? Makes no sense. This will never work. We'll just blow money. But finally, when we calculated, even though we spent a lot of money on the content distribution, we actually were able to build huge audiences that we were able to much easily convert further on and drive more people to the landing pages and more people to the sales pages. So the new KPI that is really rising up in this new model is the cost of content consumption. And this is like a different conversation, I think, because there's so many different metrics. But it's coming to the picture, and it has to be measured in order to optimize the whole model. But what's more interesting, because this is supposed to be a presentation about the skills, are the new skills that are coming into the picture to build this more complex models. So the first of them is like how you can really build these content campaigns. I call it ungated content campaigns, and ungated content is really the content that comes in the beginning of the funnel. So it's this content that is being used to engage and attract new audiences that you can remarket further in the model. So to build these content campaigns, it's much more complex than to build like a normal SEO campaign, for example, because you have to, from the very beginning, think very strategically how you can present the content that will really warm up people for the upcoming lead and sales campaign later on. And the video production, of course, we know that content is about video right now, but they are even more important right now because thanks to video, we can much quicker and easier build big audiences for the future remarketing. And project management. Well, I never said that it wasn't important before, but I think right now it's even more important because we have so many linear processes that has to come together in order to build this new type of a funnel. We have content, leads, and sales happening at the same time. We have remarketing processes, different sources of traffic, different specialists that have to work together. So to manage this entire piece, it's really becoming a master art. And then traffic campaigns are getting even more complex. So the skill set of managing different channels, but at the same time different remarketing audiences on different channels is becoming even more of a job. And then data reporting and analysis. Well, we could think about having an analyst analyzing maybe before and some help from outside. But right now, people who actually work on building funnels, they should have some skill set in data reporting analysis, because in each of these sections of the funnel, you need to be understanding how much you are on the game and how much you're contributing to the final goal of attracting the customer. So to take this to this, you need a team. So to me, this is really something that I'm working on the most. So inside of Tribe47, like, I don't work so much on strategies for our clients anymore. What I'm really passionate about right now is like trying to play with the team pieces, like how to formulate the most optimal team that can go and design and execute and optimize a funnel like this. And this is how this team looks right now, but I'm not saying it's gonna look like this next month, because we're trying to move these pieces and see like where should be more pressure, less pressure, who should lead, who should be like the co-leader of the pack. And right now, how we see it is that the biggest pressure is always on one person, which, well, I believe it's correct, should always be a little bit like this. And we call this guy, or a girl, a full brain marketer. So someone who not only understands everything that is happening below, but also someone who actually has strength to manage all these processes and make sure that everything will not turn into pieces and people will not start doing their own stuff. And then we've got traffic manager and content manager who are the supporting parts, because it's still about paid traffic, but also a lot about content. And they all have to cooperate very well together and work with multiple different specialists that are coming to the picture. So sometimes when we are being asked like, whoa, so why are so many people in the room to put just this little like campaign that doesn't look like nothing, this is because it's just so many things that come to the picture. And this is the summary of different skills that I was talking about throughout this presentation that we're building up through the evolution of different sales funnel models. It's 10 skill groups. In each of these skills groups, there is from 12 to around 18 skills. I mean, there can be definitely more, but this is how we mapped it recently. We're going to be posting, like, we're preparing like our Tribe47 skill matrix that we're going to be posting on our blog very soon, but I'm still putting some last touches on it. So just stay in touch, and hopefully soon we will publish it. But these 10 skill groups are essentially what we walk through, and I want to show you right now like profiles of my 3 stallions, right? Like how do they map on each of these skills. So the first one, the full brain marketer, the best one I have, and the best one who is able to cooperate with the rest of the group, is very much skilled in terms of the 2 skills on the top line, which is project management, sales, and psychology. And the 3 other top skills are sales, lead, and marketing automation building, together with the website UX and UI. And then the traffic manager is a person who's like most developed in the last skills, which is the data reporting analysis and traffic campaign management, and also very skills in terms of sales and marketing psychology. But if you see both these profiles, all other skills are still, skill groups are still covered until some percent. And then finally, a content manager that is not just content manager. This person still knows a lot and has skills in all different 10 skill groups at minimum of 30%. And it's the most skilled in building and strategizing the ungated content campaigns. So, you know, I'm gonna leave you with a question, like, what's really needed to build new models and predict what's in the future? Is it really some cool tools and techniques, or is it really development of people and their skill set to give them more space and to match them in a more intelligent teams to be able to create great results? So thank you so much. Thank you for staying. I hope the lunch will still taste good. And if you have any questions, if you would like to chat, I'm going to be available after this until, I think, tomorrow afternoon. So thank you so much.
Ewa Wysocka, Tribe47. Bardzo dziękujemy. Szanowni Państwo, do godziny 14.